Good evening, folks. How is everyone? Thank you for coming by and spending a little time with me. You know you are my people. And I love you. And I always want you to be the big three. I want you healthy. I want you happy. And I want you safe. And you know what I want for me? Because Christmas is upon us, right? Peace on earth, goodwill towards men. You know what else I want for me? I want for you to be healthy and happy and safe. I want that for everybody because people will be. If everybody was healthy and happy and safe, the world would be a much nicer place and people would be less assholes. But that's not why we're here. Thanks for coming by. Tonight we are going to take a look at a local beer to me. This is called Fire Rises. This is from Kitsune Brewery, which is just a hop, skip, and a jump away. I really wanted to grab their Oni. They have an Oni Blue, which was an Imperial Stout, and it was running 13.5%. So I was really interested, and I really can't get any because they didn't brew that much, so they're not canning and sending out, and they weren't filling growlers. But they did have this in the icebox. So I grabbed this. This is a mashup, a compendium, a partnership between another local brewery just right down the block from me, Fire-and-Fury-Brewing Company. So this one's on 32nd and Bell, Kitsune. And Fire-and-Fury is on 32nd and T-Bird. They're about a mile away. The guys know each other. They're good friends. And they both make fine beers. We are looking at a pale ale with 5.5% for the ABV, 38 for the IBUs, 16 fluid ounces in the can, because America. So, we're going to crack, we're going to pour, we're going to shoot the temp, get an SRM, and we're going to listen to Sherman. And the song we're listening to from Sherman, if I can pull it up here, ScrewTube won't let me steal their music anymore, even though I credit them all the time. We are going to take a look at let's go with Big Things off of Sherman from the album Sherman, S-H-U-R-M-A-N. I really like this band. So, let's get it started.
My stomach, prepare for the final spin. Some dirty words leave a stain you can't wash off. So here's the big things, something small. And I turn back the hands of a future age, just so I could fix all them yesterdays. 'Cause bricks upon bricks eventually built a wall. So here's the big things, something small. I'm up on the ropes again. Feel my knees buckle as I take another one on the chin. Wasn't enough, but the combination of it all. So here's to big things, something small.
Love that band. They broke up. Pity. They were solid. I only ever got to see them once. And the one time I saw them, it was an affirmative experience. And that's when I was like, holy shit, I really like this band. And everything else, nothing good lasts forever. But here is to big things from something small. This would probably be a better New Year's than Christmas song, but yeah, we're rolling with it. So, very pretty, very nice color. I'm going to give her... depending on the light you use, I'm going to give her an 8 because she's gold in my vision spectrum. Get so many different lights on, but she is, yeah, definitely a gold. So let's give her an 8. Very, very pretty beer. Nice head, compacted nicely. The top is pretty uniform. She did go from large to small, large on top, small to the bottom, as she compacted down. Can't really complain. All right, it's Biden time. Let's get that sniffer up in there and see what's going on. Nice. So she is piney. I'm not a huge piney fan. From their webpage, it's a pale ale American style. Probably help if I could put some eyeballs on and see what the hell I'm reading here. It's a West Coast. Best Coast Pale Ale, our 2-year anniversary collaboration. Okay, we said 5.5 for the ABV, 38 are the IBUs. We gave the SRM as about an 8 on the Lova Bond. That's everything they gave us. So, not really knocking it out of the park here on the information spectrum. The West Coast, Best Coast thing, you know what, there's a lot of New Englands out there that are just as nasty and piney. I am not a pine fan. I don't understand why people think this is a phenomenally great thing, but it is what it is. Me? Juicy, hazy kind of guy. She is clear, though. She is not as hazy as one would think. What are you going to do? Such is life. So the nose is pine, and there's an underlie of citrus, but it's an off citrus, and it's not a stone. I don't know. They didn't tell us what hops they used, so I don't know. We'll double check real quick right after we take the first initial sip to find out we're drinking her at 51, so slightly above recommended temperature. But let's see what she's got. She should be open at this point. Not bad. Nice beer. The flavor profile isn't overpowering, which is nice. She comes in. She's tasty. She went right across the tongue, out into the buccals, and wrapped her way up, but not down. Odd. Front half of the tongue is involved, soft palate's involved, intra and extra dentals, and buccals. Okay. Well, you know what? That's... Me scusi. That's a nice kind of turn of events. I wasn't expecting that much from this. She's interesting. She does progress, which is always nice. I like when a beer graduates through the flavor profile. In this particular instance, that citrus non-stone, but not orange, like some kind of grapefruit hybrid maybe, came in, and then it rolled into the pine on the back end as she bittered up and hit the back of the throat. The pine on this is not super overpowering, which again makes me happy because I don't chew laundry detergent pods, nor do I drink floor cleaner. That's just me, though. You do you. Like I said, it's odd. It comes in, you get that off citrus fruit initial hit. It slides into the pine as it moves to the back. It doesn't bitter up until it gets back here into where your molars are. Okay. And then hits the back of the throat, goes down. She is fast. This is a fast beer. She's also a very dirty girl, and still taste it. And the residual flavor on this is going to be the bitter and the pine, which is okay. It is what it is, right? She's not bad. I've been meaning to get over to Fire and Fury, but the last time I stopped in, there's such a small brewery that they don't let you take out. And so, we'll cover that after this. So, is she good for an American Pale Ale? I don't ever remember American Pale Ales being this bittered. And she's only, 35 or 38 on the IBUs? 38 on the IBUs. But still, usually when I think pale, I think really, really lower on the IBU scale. But this is, of course, West Coast, Best Coast, for what it's worth. And so that's why we're getting the increased bittering. Now, it's not a detraction by any stretch of the imagination. It is a good drinker. I like this beer. But does that make her... See, it puts her more into an IPA zone than just a straight pale. So I don't know if it's a good representation for the style. I'm going to say it's actually not, which unfortunately is going to knock her out of the 4 zone. She's a good beer, don't get me wrong. The problem is it's not what I think of when I think of for a pale. Right? So that this... You've been here before, you know, I have a huge problem with this whole IBU, IPA dare beer crap, where they just try to overhop everything. Well, this one's 155 IBUs. I want a beer I can drink. I'm not here for dare beers. This isn't a dick wiggling contest. I've been in those too. I'm old. Remember, I grew up when everybody showered after gym and practice, okay? I've been in locker rooms with lots of swinging dicks. This is what happens when you take away the swinging dick component from guys. They just look for another way to swing their dicks around. That being said, is it a bad beer? No, I really, really like this beer. I just don't think she's a good representation of the style. So that's going to fuck up the grading, is what it is. She's a little warmer now. She's probably about 53, 54. She's actually gotten smoother and nicer. So how do we grade this? And she's not good for a pale. She's not really a good representation of pale, which is as heavily bittered. And yet I like the beer. So, for what it's worth, take this as just a flyer, okay? A flyer is a gun term for a round that doesn't go where it was supposed to. It's a flyer. I like it enough to give it a 4 1/4. So, is it something I'm going to drink again? Maybe. Would I buy it again? Probably not. Again, it's too bitter for a pale for me. I like my pales to be a bit more tempered, but that's just me. Remember, the first pale ale I ever drank was Rolling Rock. It wasn't even really beer. It was the template for Bud Light before it went all tranny fluid. So, You keep that in mind. But usually I don't find a pale to be this forward in the bitter area. Just me. You do you. Will I try it on tap? Of course. As a matter of fact, at some point I'll wind up over at Fire and Fury, and I'll continue that after we get done here. Handed this to me out of the cooler. I would say thank you. This is actually a really nice beer. This was also $22 for 4 pints. So you can do the math on that. That's $5.50 a pint. Shit ain't cheap, folks. Welcome to Biden's Well. Yeah, we're going to give her... Because it's weird and it's a flyer. But it's not a bad beer. But it's just different for the style. This belongs in an other category. So we'll give her 4 1/4. She's a good 4 1/4 beer. So, that's what I got. Thanks for coming by. Putting some eyeballs on here, my people. You know I love you. Big 3. Happy, healthy, safe, honorable, dutiful, vigilant. Great man. Hot and handy. Head on a swivel. Merry Christmas. YouTube guys, we're cutting this here because you're not allowed to hear the after part because I get shit canned for that. We're already getting a copyright strike for playing a song from an album by a band that YouTube doesn't think I should be able to, even though I don't monetize. So, BitChute, sometimes this won't go on there, it's too long. Brighteon, they pretty much take everything. They don't care what I put up. I think I have 11 fans there. It's more political than beer-based, but it's there if you're on there. Rumble gives me no shit. Rumble really wants to supplant YouTube. Look for it on Rumble. And then, of course, Odyssey. And Odyssey's okay, too. They don't ever fuck with me either. So, another place where I have like 3 fans. These are not beer-drinking websites, or I'm just not possessed of a large enough footprint there. She's good. She warms up, she gets better. Skol, my friends. And... Ooh. Sorry. Jesus, she's gassy. Merry Christmas. Or, Good Yule. Or, Bon Natale. Or, shit, what the hell was the French one now? I don't know. Doesn't matter. I'll catch you on the next one. Scroll. So, now that the YouTube folks are gone, the non-beer folks probably bailed out a long time ago as I was yakky. That thing's making my head sweat. I'm shooting inside because it's cold and wet and damp outside. It did rain, and it's been overcast all day, and tomorrow's Christmas Eve when all the kids will be over with all their kids. So tomorrow I will be setting up everything in the backyard, tents and whatnot. I did work today. She's a gassy beer. Oh, there we go. Thank you. I have a question for you guys. So, I could have drank Blue Oni on site, and I can't get anything out of Fire and Fury because they're only an on-site brewery. Their tanks are too small. They don't produce enough in volume because I stopped in there and said, "Hi, want to fill up my growler?" And they're like, "We can't. We don't have enough." I'm like, fuck me. Is what it is. And I don't mind drinking on site, in situ, if you will. But do you guys want to see that? And the nice thing is, if we do an in situ video, then there's a relatively good chance I'll be able to talk to the employee or maybe even the brewmeister themselves. And we can get a little more insight to what they're pushing. Now, I've always told you to drink local, and I have some really, really solid local breweries here. We're one of those places that gets overlooked all the time, yet our beer game is strong. Problem is, our beer game is small, and so it doesn't... that's not true. Wren House has really, really been pushing it, but if you've ever followed the saga of Sculpin. Who made Sculpin? Ballast Point. Ballast Point Brewery came out and they made something called, well, they made a bunch of beers. They made some really, really good beers. By the way, I really, really enjoyed some of their stuff. But Ballast Point had a plan. And Ballast Point's plan was to hit the market, microbrewery. They're going to turn out some quality product. They turned out their Sculpin line is undrinkable for me. It is not a beer I enjoy. They were horribly over-hopped IPAs, and yet Angus and Rocket absolutely loved them. They could not get enough of them. I'm like, these beers are disgusting. Throwing it out there. But they got smart. So what they did is they came in, they made some really quality product, and then they sold out to, want to say, Constellation. You can go back a couple of years. There's a video on it that I did. And Constellation was solid. I mean, but they bought the product up, and then they expanded their footprint nationally or multinationally. I think you even got them in Mexico at this point. And really blew it out. Did the quality suffer? Not as far as I can tell, although I don't really drink them very often because the Sculpin especially got to the point where it was like $18, $19 a six-pack. I'm not paying that, especially for a beer I don't like. But people really did enjoy them, and so the market sets the price and people pay it. Other than that, if I wasn't in San Diego, I didn't see a lot of their stuff, like their Wahoo or their Big Eye. Everything was named after a fish. That was the theme. Their Yellowtail was delicious. I think that was their Kolsch. They had a lot of really, really solid beers. They had a Grunion that was good, that was a pale, that wasn't overly bittered like the one we just drank today. But that's what they did. And the guys out here by me rarely ever do that, except Wren House, which Angus and I were at their 24th Street location, and we drank their bill, basically whatever they had on tap. We tried everything, which wasn't a lot. It was a small tap house, but it was very hipster groovy, man. You know how well I fit in. You know how much I love hippies. It was very hipster groovy, man. And didn't really work for either one of us. We were not impressed with what they had, and yet they're garnering a huge footprint here, and I see their canned stuff all over, which means they have to be moving further out. Now, it's a marketing thing, and I don't give them crap for being able to market, but unlike Ballast Point, I don't find Wren House to be that interesting. The other one was the ladies downtown that had their stuff in the Costco's out here. They had some interesting beers, and they had some beers that weren't particularly my style, but they were able to get their footprint into them. But like North Mountain, or Kitsune, which is small, or Fire and Fury, which is small, they don't have the marketing behind them, which is a pity because they turn out some really, really quality products that I think more people would enjoy, but I'm the wrong person to ask because I tend to like the more interesting stuff. I'm just weird that way, man, but I always have been. So now that we're done with the yakety schmackety, would you be interested to be seeing remotes or maybe even live remotes from these places? Let me know. Hit me up down below or hit up my email. You know what my email is. I put it out there all the time. It's not like it's hidden. She's topped out. Hold on. I'll give you a temperature on this, but you want to drink her at this temp. I do like this glass setup, which we are testing. Will it be my go-to? Not by any stretch of the imagination. Only because I drink so many beers. We're at 58, which means we're at 55, which means, yeah, you don't want to go too warm on this. 50, 52 tops. Not bad. But at 58, she's losing it. She's just getting too bitter. Too much oil. She didn't lace much. Well, she didn't lace horribly. She didn't lace well either. Yeah, is what it is. Lacing fans, I will not forget you. You are also my people. That's what I got. Other than, I want you guys to have a nice Christmas. I don't care if you're not a Christmassy person. That's okay. Well, I want you to have a nice winter festival season, or technically, today is the start of Festivus. Get that poll out. Air those grievances. That's what it is. Again, you even if you don't like the messenger, at least consider the message. Peace on earth. Goodwill towards man. Okay? I'm really getting tired of all the tumult and bullshit we have to put up with. And yes, I don't know who it was. It says, dude, you speak Yiddish? Abyssal Yiddish. Grew up in Brooklyn, dude. Are you kidding me? What I got, though. So, I will catch you fuckers on the next one, which will be after Christmas, but before New Year's. So, Merry Christmas, fuckers. God damn it, what is the French one? So, Bon Natale. Don't remember. I tried, but I'm old. So. Love you, fuckers. Adios.